a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. James Mason. James Neville Mason was an English actor. Mason achieved considerable success in British cinema before becoming one of Hollywood's biggest stars. He was the top box office attraction in the UK in 1944 and 1945. With notable films including The Seventh Veil and The Wicked Lady. He starred in Odd Man Out, the first recipient of the BAFTA Award for Best British Film. He starred in a number of successful British and American films from the 1950s to the early 1980s, including The Desert Fox, A Star is Born, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Lolita, North by Northwest, The Prisoner of Zenda, Journey to the Center of the Earth, A Touch of Larceny, Bigger Than Life, Julius Caesar, Georgy Girl, The Deadly Affair, Age of Consent, Heaven Can Wait, The Boys from Brazil, The Verdict, Mandingo, Murder by Decree and Salem's Lot. Mason was nominated for 3 Academy Awards, 3 Golden Globes and 2 BAFTA Awards throughout his career. Following his death in 1984, his ashes were interred near the tomb of his close friend, fellow English actor Sir Charlie Chaplin. Early life, family and education. Mason was born in Huddersfield, in the West Riding of Yorkshire, to Mabel Hattersley and John Mason. His father was a wealthy textile merchant. He was educated at Marlborough College and earned a first in architecture at Peterhouse, Cambridge, where he became involved in stock theatre companies in his spare time. Mason had no formal training in acting and initially embarked upon it for fun. Career. After Cambridge, Mason made his stage debut in Aldershot in The Rascal in 1931. He joined the Old Vic Theatre in London under the guidance of Tyrone Guthrie. In 1933 Alexander Korda gave Mason a small role in The Private Life of Don Juan, but sacked him 3 days into shooting. From 1935 to 1938, he starred in many British quota quickies. He registered as a conscientious objector during the Second World War, but his tribunal exempted him only on the requirement to do non-combatant military service, which he refused. His appeal against this became irrelevant by including him in a general exemption for film work. Mason became hugely popular for his brooding anti-heroes in the Gainsborough series of melodramas of the 1940s, including The Man in Grey and The Wicked Lady. He also starred with Deborah Kerr and Robert Newton in Hatter's Castle. He then took the lead role in the popular The Seventh Veil, which set box office records in post-war Britain and raised him to international stardom. He followed it with the role as a mortally wounded IRA bank robber on the run in Carol Reed's Odd Man Out and his first Hollywood film, Caught. Exhibitors voted him the most popular star in Britain in each year between 1944 and 1947. They also thought he was the most popular international star in 1946. He dropped to second place the following year. He was the most popular male star in Canada in 1948. Mason's languid, but impassioned, vocal talent enabled him to play a menacing villain as easily as his good looks assisted him as a leading man. His roles include Brutus in Julius Caesar, Field Marshal Erwin Rommel in The Desert Fox, The Story of Rommel and the Desert Rats, the amoral valet turned spy in Joseph L. Mankiewicz's Five Fingers, the declining actor in the first remake of A Star is Born, Captain Nemo in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, a small-town school teacher driven insane by the effects of cortisone in Bigger Than Life, a suave master spy in North by Northwest, a former World War II hero and Admiralty Commander A Touch of Larceny, and a determined scientist and explorer in Journey to the Center of the Earth. In the 1950s, Mason was host of Lux Video Theatre on CBS television. In 1963 he settled in Switzerland, and embarked on a transatlantic career. He played Humbert in Stanley Kubrick's version of Lolita, a river pirate who betrays Peter O'Toole's character in Lord Jim, James Leamington in the swinging London set Georgy Girl, a role that earned him a second Academy Award nomination, Bradley Morahan in Age of Consent, the evil Dr. Polidori in Frankenstein, The True Story, The Vampire's Servant, Richard Straker in Salem's Lot, and surreal Royal Navy Captain Hughes in Yellowbeard, one of his last roles. that of corrupt lawyer Ed Concannon in The Verdict, earned him his third and final Oscar nomination. In 1967, Mason narrated the documentary The London Nobody Knows. He then went on to narrate two British documentary series supervised by Kevin Brownlow, Hollywood, on the silent cinema and Unknown Chaplin, devoted to outtake material from the films of Sir Charlie Chaplin. Mason had been a long-time neighbour and friend of the comedian. In the late 1970s, Mason became a mentor to up-and-coming actor Sam Neill, having completed playing the lead role in Dr. Fisher of Geneva. Adapted from Graham Greene's eponymous novella for the BBC, he stepped into the role in the shooting party originally meant for Paul Scofield, who was unable to continue after being seriously injured in an accident on the first day of shooting. This was to be Mason's final screen performance. Personal life. Mason was a devoted lover of animals, particularly cats. He and his wife, Pamela Mason, co-authored the book The Cats in Our Lives, which was published in 1949. James Mason wrote most of the book and also illustrated it. In The Cats in Our Lives, he recounted humorous and sometimes touching tales of the cats he had known and loved. In 1952, Mason purchased a house previously owned by Buster Keaton. He discovered several nitrate film reels of previously thought lost films stored in the house and produced by the comedian, such as The Boat. Mason arranged to have the decomposing films transferred to safety stock, and thus saved them from being permanently lost. Mason was married twice. Mason's autobiography, Before I Forget, was published in 1981. Death. Mason survived a severe heart attack in 1959. He died as a result of another heart attack on the 27th of July 1984 in Lausanne, Switzerland, and was cremated. Mason left his entire estate to his second wife, Clarissa Kay, but his will was challenged by his two children. The lawsuit had not been settled when she died on the 21st of July 1994 from cancer. Clarissa Kay Mason left her holdings to the religious guru Satya Sai Baba, including the actor's ashes which she had retained in their shared home. Mason's children sued Sai Baba and subsequently had Mason's ashes interred in Corsia-sur-Vevey, Vaud, Switzerland. The remains of Mason's old friend Charlie Chaplin are in a tomb a few steps away. Mason's children specified that his headstone read, "Never say in grief you are sorry he's gone. Rather, say in thankfulness you are grateful he was here." Words that were spoken to Portland Mason by U.S. Senator Ted Kennedy after the actor's death. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?